As we also have breaking news, Dolphins have hired Mike McDaniel.
What? Oh, my God. I can't handle this today.
So, I mean, we were going to have a big celebration here on the 50th day that I could fire Mike McDaniel, but, like, he's actually fired now. So, all right, it's a party, I guess, right?
I mean, it doesn't really suggest that they know what they're doing when they do it this piecemeal, just sort of without explaining to anybody, hey, we just needed McDaniel to sort of hold on at the end so that we can just get everybody out of here at the same time. We needed him to just be a face and voice for, well, there's somebody still in the building speaking on behalf of the team, and no one told him.
Well,
Right.
Can I offer perhaps? Maybe you're like, oh, I like Mike McDaniel, but then you see there's a Harbaugh available.
That's where my mind goes.
Hold on for a second. Why am I married to this guy? Well, look who's on the market.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do immediately, I suppose. This is what you have to do if you're one of 7 teams in the market for Jim Harbaugh. He brings instant stability, credibility, and all these things where it's rare for a coach to get fired and everyone. I mean, think about how cutthroat that business is, especially in football. Andy Reid was a fool not that long ago. Like he has reinvented himself since, but there aren't many of the guys other than Tomlin and Harbaugh where you're like, really? You're going to be 18 years in one place? Like, how the hell does that happen? Everybody gets fired, and then everyone's shocked when he is let go. Mm-hmm. Like, that's just because you're like, oh, we still expected you to be good. You still have the quarterback, and now that he's available, all the bad teams think he's the fix. And so if you want to be one of the bad teams who can get him, he's the most coveted thing there's been in free agent coaching, and I don't know how long, right? Because you're going to have 7 people who want, can you please come fix this? We've just got a shit show with the Jets and with the Giants. Which of these jobs would you like here? And Miami's doesn't have a quarterback. So if Stephen Ross is going to get in the game, the only way he can do it is, hey, at my place, you can also pick the GM or be the GM. You can have all the power. The Harbaugh, the thing that you're giving him, what this firing shows you, I think, Zaslow, you tell me if you have another instant reaction to this, but the timing of all this suggests to me that the only way you can get Harbaugh here is to do what you were saying yesterday, which is wildly overpay him, but also tell him you can have all of the power. You can do everything, and you can pick your next quarterback, and you can show us if the Harbaughs can do it with anybody.
Yep. I mean, maybe Stephen Ross was listening, although Troy Aikman should have told him this by now. If you just pay the coach an exorbitant amount of money with no salary cap, go offer John Harbaugh $50 million a season. I dare him to say no to that. But yeah, my first thought is that on top of what you just said, which is, and you could also get X amount of control maybe in the front office. You'll have say in who we're going to hire as the GM, but it's you and him. Like you're going to have say in personnel. That's the only way you could wind up getting him. It's funny where, I mean, how sloppily was this handled by the Dolphins? Where it was just a few days ago that Mike McDaniel stood in front of everybody and said he's going to be part of the general manager search.
But something changed. Look, sports is cutthroat. It's a business, and things change very quickly. And what changes is that Harbaugh became available, and that part seems obvious now. If they want to get in the game, they got to do it quickly. This is all going to happen pretty fast. It's rare that you've got 7 suitors for the same guy. I don't know. Look, step back from this for a second. Somebody give me all the examples, not just football, of the coaching free agent where everyone is like, whoa, how'd he get fired? We all know he's good. And now you've got a ton of teams who would like just the credibility of that.
Bill Belichick.
A good example, and nobody wanted it.
Oh.
Harbaugh, though, does have coveted free agent. We're power hungry. We know this guy is good. I dare say Baltimore did John Harbaugh a favor by making him somebody at this point in his career who's allowed to reinvent himself with all the power. And while Zaslow's saying a ridiculous thing there at $50 million a year, you're not going to 5 times or even 3 times whatever the salary structure is or whatever. What are you saying? I mean, that you're looking at me saying that they are going to do that?
No, I'm thinking about Zaslow saying $50 million a year.
No, but what Zaslow
But it's because
saying,
money isn't an object to this guy. Why wouldn't you?
What? Okay. I mean, no. What? All right. You're saying it's absurd, and I'm saying the number is also absurd. But let's deconstruct this for a second. Harbaugh has just become available at a time of panic and leadership-lessness in Miami. Stephen Ross, at the end of his life, considering mortality and having won but being a laughingstock for 25 years in this town, as the worst owner there could possibly be in South Florida, but also he does good business. Hey, thanks for F1. Thanks for running that stadium. It's a major league place you've built there, but you are a laughingstock in the one place that you want to be excellent. Everyone thinks you're a clown. You are terrible at this. You can't do it within the salary structures. You can't do it even within the rules if you believe some of what it is that's being said, because you're so desperate to win at the end. And Zaz is saying money is no object. You are allowed to pay this person anything you want. We were talking earlier this week and saying, imagine what Stephen Ross would pay in an open market, no salary cap for a quarterback. He would pay $1 billion for a quarterback at the end of his life and go into partnership and give him part ownership of the team because he would so badly want to win at the end of his life. As everyone says, he's a careless clown, a careless clown. And so the number's ridiculous, but why couldn't Stephen Ross blow up the coaching salary ranks because the only advantage he could possibly have is to have more money than the other guy?
That Mike McDaniel Magic Crate topic was a little ahead of its time.
I know, man.
That was slapped right
I owe
now.
an apology to Juju, apparently.
It's going to hurt when he's the Lions offensive coordinator next
That's
year.
the game we're
Score
playing.
$1 billion
Where's
points
Mike
per game.
He's
McDaniel
going to
go?
be an amazing offensive
He's
coordinator
gonna be
somewhere.
I think
Incredible.
I agree. It's either Detroit or I could see San Francisco back with
But
Shanahan.
Detroit feels like the spot.
Doing circles around everybody. But no, the only example we have in professional sports in the world of owners being allowed to pay whatever it takes and them actually paying whatever it takes is Saudi Arabia. There is no other place. So you guys go, oh, look, Steve Ballmer is one of the 10 richest people in the world. Ty Lue doesn't make $50 million, right? Like, so this idea that, like, oh, because there's no salary cap on front office or coaching,
but
someone's going to invest an amount of money that is absurd. That guys, there's still America. Got these billionaires don't like paying money. They like getting stuff cheap and for free and on the margins. Now, the highest paid coach in the NFL right now is Andy Reid at $20 million a year. If you told me, hey, we're going to get Harbaugh, we're going to give him GM and head coach, I could see his salary going 25, maybe even $27 million. Double that? Double that? No way, man. Not a chance in hell. He's not that. First of all, he's not that kind of coach. He's a great coach. He's not, oh my God.
Well, he's coveted free agent at the right time, which makes him might as well be.
Nobody is approaching that figure like that.
These are synonyms. What you just said are synonyms. Great coach and most coveted coach at the most desperate time with the most desperate suitors. Those things are the same thing. There's no difference there.
Okay. But what I'm saying to you is that does not evaporate the rules of economics.
Zaz is the one arguing this. Zaz is saying,
wow,
you
what a
want
voice.
this guy, if Zaz, from the voice of the fan, Zaz is simply saying, if you want this guy, go get him. Give him all
exactly
the money.
my point.
Give him all the money and give him all the power.
That's exactly my point to me. And like, nothing you're saying is incorrect. It would be absurd economically to give John Harbaugh, and I'm just making up a number, $50 million. You know, it's an offer he can't refuse. But if you're the owner and there's no salary cap and money is not an object, it's literally nothing to him,
That's
the money.
my point.
Why not
It
just
is
go
something to him.
do what you want?
That's my point. And we operate as if money is nothing to these people. It is something to them. It is. They don't spend like that. They might spend. Hey, you spent how much on a hammer, on a toilet, on whatever?
All right.
They don't spend $50 million on an employee.
So let me frame it for you this way. Just can you give me, Jeremy, the amount of money, please, that Stephen Ross has given away, the amount of money that Stephen Ross has given to Michigan? I'm not telling him to spend this money this way. I'm simply framing it for you in an end-of-life mortality legacy way.
Dan.
Yep.
Please let me finish. Just let me please.
Yeah,
This
go ahead.
owner in South Florida who cares deeply about not being a clown laughingstock has been so desperate, just trying to get Tom Brady, just disaster after disaster. 25 years of incompetence, offensive line coach snorting blow off the desk, like just irrelevant team after irrelevant team. This guy's only advantage in sports in the modern age can be to have more money than the next guy. Compound that with, at the end of his career and life, doing this with something it is that he cares about. At this moment right now, The Dolphins look like they do not have a plan, do not have an idea, do not have a leader, do not have a voice, do not know how to do anything going forward. What would you pay to replace that with an amount of money? Because you do it with this amount of money given to this man. What's the amount that you'd think he'd be willing to go in that context as a billionaire? Just please cure my problems tomorrow. I'll wire the money here now.
I just don't. I think it's going to be commensurate with whatever the current market value for highest paid coach. Because that's how these people operate, man. Like this is Saudi Arabia where the guy's like, $200 billion a year to go. Like they don't do that.
How much money is he giving away, Jeremy?
Just in 2013, he gave $200 million to the University of Michigan,
Right.
$100 million to athletics, $100 million to the Stephen Ross School of Business. He gave another $50 million in 2017.
Did he pay that to an individual?
No, it's the University of Michigan.
Oh, okay. Was that someone's salary? Was that Michigan like the?
But that is probably
it was a philanthropic donation. Yes,
it's how he donated to Michigan. $100 million went to the athletics program, and I will say, soon thereafter, they hired Jim Harbaugh to be their head coach.
Okay, my point is this: that doesn't mean when it comes to paying employees. You guys are living in a fantasy land of the fan where it's like, he's rich, he can afford it. Yeah, he can afford it. He doesn't spend money like that. That's why he can afford it.
I mean, what if this time that ridiculous amount of money that he would give this individual would stop him
from losing?
Did he?
Would stop him from losing.
Oh, okay.
Being laughing
So,
stock.
$20 million is the highest paid coach in the NFL right now. Andy Reid, who we all consider to be excellent at his job. If you told me, hey, first of all, I think the power is a bigger play for Harbaugh than as Bill Parcells once said.
You can have all of it. It's the only thing the Dolphins offer.
But that's the real thing they offer. That's the real. Hey, you get to buy the groceries and then cook it, in the words of Bill Parcells. Then you start from there. You say, okay, well, I'm doing two jobs. I'm Harbaugh. I'm like, I'm doing two jobs. Well, you can't pay me enough for just the one job. Cool. 25, 27, $30 million a year. You say $50 million a year. That makes zero sense. First of all, you got to staff everybody else, right? Because if you're paying him 50, what's his associate head coach worth? What are his coordinators worth? What is his assistant general manager worth? You have to be able to staff, right? Number one. Number two, you don't think NFL owners talk to each other about like, yo, don't set a precedent where we're paying guys.
So Zaz, you tell me. The Raiders paid Chip Kelly $6 million a year. That's where the advantages are. If you're a rich person, you can outbuy a coach, and these guys are getting unreasonable salaries.
Marginally, you don't go quadruple what the highest paid guy is.
But if Stephen Ross says, I don't care, I just want to win, I'm old, I can't take my money with me when I die, why does Stephen Ross care?
Well, first of all, I believe he has like heirs, so it's not like just his money, he dies and now it's all gone. Number one. Number two, again, you're speaking like a fan's ass. Like you're like, if I had that much money, I'd do it. He's not gonna do it, man. I don't. Like, what do you want?
Okay,
at this point, like the only way we can settle this is let's see how much Harbaugh gets paid. If he gets paid anything more than $30 million, all
right,
I will concede.
All right, no. So let's not get caught up in the absurdity of what the number has to be.
Because it is absurd.
The point, yes, of course. The point remains on what Zaslow is saying is, as we speak right now, what we did not think would be so 10 minutes ago is when Jim Harbaugh became available. All of a sudden, John Harbaugh. I'm going to make that mistake a lot. When John Harbaugh became available, 18 seasons, I gave this stat yesterday, 12 playoff seasons in 18 years with some different quarterbacks. 12 playoff seasons in 18 years is more than Arizona has in 106 years, okay? So he's a coveted free agent. The only way to get him, is for the Dolphins to have a more appetizing job than the other 7 teams. When you got Jackson Dart, when you've got young quarterbacks, there were greater, easier paths to success. The only thing the Dolphins offer that no one else can offer is, hey, blank slate, all the power, all the money. You go get them, Harbaugh. This is Ravens did you a favor. You are the highest paid coach in the game because you're available. And sorry, Andy Reid, you're paid less than that now.
Why are the Dolphins the only team that can offer that?
All of those things.
Oh.
All of the things of no quarterback. You can pick your own GM. You can be the GM, and we will give you the most money. That's not everyone else.
It's their only advantage.
Not everyone else is in the same desperate position of Stephen Ross at the end of his life.
Let me ask you guys a question. A couple of years ago, the Broncos were sold to the Walton family. They're hundreds of billions of dollars, right? They had an opening, and Sean Payton was a guy with a name and everything, and they went aggressive for Sean Payton, right? They gave him control. They paid him. They didn't pay him $50 million. They didn't even make him the highest paid coach. They paid him a lot. He's one of the top 5 highest paid coaches. But again, there is a realm of reason, especially when it comes to coaching and front office. You guys might idolize this. I'm going to tell you right now, billionaires, they still look at it as like, well, that guy's doing all the winning, pointing at the quarterback or pointing at the star player. They're like, you're just a guy. Yeah, if you're not the right guy, just get someone else in here. There's no part of them that looks at it as like, no, this is my man, and I have to go down with the ship with him. Again, Ty Lue is widely recognized as one of the best coaches, best X's and O's guys, best ATO guys, best communicators, former player, won a championship as a player, won a championship as a head coach. Steve Ballmer is worth more than the next 15 NBA owners together. 15, right? And when it came time, the Ty Lue's like, all right, let me get paid. Steve Ballmer was like, oh, let me see what the market says. He actually had to go out and like shop around because it's like, really? So then it's like, oh, should I go to the Suns or whatever? And then they paid him. And even then, they paid him, but not like exorbitant amounts.
Harbaugh's already making $17 million a year. Zaslow, where are you on all this?
Yeah, I think the one example that I would give is because there's no reason for Harbaugh to want the Dolphins job. So obviously you're trying to make an offer he can't refuse. And the one example I would give, like Deshaun Watson didn't want to play for the Cleveland Browns. And back then, giving $250 million guaranteed, by the way, with a salary cap, but giving $250 million guaranteed was unheard of. But it's what they had to do to convince him to play quarterback for them.
Yeah.
That's the example I'd give.
Yeah, but the example you gave is a player. And owners will pay players because there's an element of that's an irreplaceable talent right there. They look at coaches and front office people as, all right, so I'll get another guy.